All right, let's get started.
Wes, what did you see from the way that JJ operated the pass protection? Seems like he had to face kind of a lot of different looks from Chicago.
Yeah, I thought he handled the protection aspect really well. It's been a real bright spot in his development. Is his ability to when we implement a protection plan to be able to get up to the line, get the initial communication from the center, and then decipher whether he needs to make a call to adjust the protection. I think you saw that throughout the game, and everyone was on the same page. Thought the pass protection in general was a big plus. Really, in the last couple of games, those guys have kind of been gelling together. We're going to have a big test this week, obviously, with that Packers front, but those guys gave some nice pockets, some nice time in there.
What do you think of the run game overall and just what you guys were able to do in that phase?
I think our guys up front have established that they are a physical unit. I think from the tight ends, the offensive line, you see receivers running in there, Jets going in there on the 16-yard touchdown run and getting a physical block on a safety coming downhill and kind of opening that lane for Jordan there to score. So I think our guys are out there competing. They're fighting. They're playing with a physical play style, which is something every team is trying to emphasize. And so I think you see a lot of good things out there. For us, it's just a little bit more about consistency down in and down out across the board. Just being able to, when it looks right, we're moving the football down the field, and good things are happening. I thought the procedure, that just the operation of the whole thing was much better, obviously, this game, and certainly was an emphasis for us. Got to continue to be an emphasis for us throughout to be a pro unit like we want to be. So a lot of good things out there on the tape, but obviously some things to clean up.
What's your sense of how, you mentioned Justin, of how he's sort of is dealing with sort of the natural frustrations that come up during a game when there's some inconsistencies with accuracy and all that? And I know probably everyone's watching him every move to see how he's going to react, and then I think at that moment is when he came in and had that block that you were talking about. It's just kind of been your sense of how he's handled that, knowing that a lot of people are probably watching him to see how he's handling it.
Yeah, my first thing I would say with Jets is just extremely grateful to have him, to have a player and a person like him, to be as good of a football player as he is, but also show that no matter what the game is like, he's going to go out there and compete. And he's never once shied away. You've seen guys in this league where things aren't going right, and the effort from their part changes because I'm not getting the ball, or I'm not getting this, or me. That guy is about winning football games, number one, first and foremost. And he knows that, the more times, as well as we know, the more times he's getting opportunities, it's usually going to help us to win those football games. So you understand sometimes when a player of that caliber, the frustrations come up, but you never see it in his play. He's out there competing down in and down out, and the things that when he talks to you guys after the game, it's not about me. It's about us. It's about we going out there and finding ways to win football games. So just extremely grateful for Justin. Just his demeanor day in and day out. He goes out on the practice field. He competes. I mean, this is what he knows. This is what he does.
You obviously can't run a 2-minute drill the whole game, but the moments that really effectively move the ball 85 yards, are there elements that can be worked in at different parts of the game?
Yeah, there are times when we can use tempo, and there have been times where you use tempo. I mean, you put together a game plan, to try to get into and maximize, all of your players in the right spots and doing all these things. But sometimes getting up there and changing the pace puts pressure on the defense. Maybe our guys, some of the tempo packages we have, a little less thinking. They just get up there and roll. And we're exploring every opportunity we can to find a way to continue to move the football consistently and get points on the board.
What impressed you most when you think about what Jeff Hafley has done with that defense?
Well, he's gotten some really good football players on that defense, number one, which makes us all better coaches. But they've got a very sound system, very active, uses his players very effectively. The defense in general, I think they're close to tops in the league as far as not giving up explosive passes or runs, which sometimes you see it kind of weighted one way or the other. Hey, they're good at not giving up 20-plus yard passes, but the run game suffers a little bit, and they're close to tops in the league in both of those categories, which is, ultimately, if you can keep the chunks off the tape, as the defensive coaches say, you're doing some good things. Obviously, the front, very active, a lot of movement on the front. Getting Micah was a big deal, but I've had tons of respect for Rashawn Gary since he's been in the league, the way he plays the game, the physicality. Now they've got kind of a guy on each edge that you really have to deal with and contend with, along with those inside backers, very athletic, very physical, with Cooper and Walker in there. Safeties are downhill, physical, and then the corners are playing good football. They've got Bullard playing in there at the nickel, who's a very aggressive, physical player. He's a safety type body that's playing nickel, and Nixon's now playing outside, who has also been at the nickel spot, a very physical, aggressive player. So just their play style, they're being coached the right way, but the way they play the game is going to be a real challenge for us.
Lester, do you see a common thread with the drops, just a one-off random game, or do you think it's part of a bigger issue?
No, I think good offensive units. They go in there, and generally the receivers are saying, "Hey, if it hits my hands, I need to catch the football." And the quarterback is saying, "Hey, I need to give you a better ball there," and that's kind of the way you want it. Each room has a high standard for themselves as far as ball placement and as far as making the catches, even the tough catches. Those guys are the types of players where they expect to make the play if the ball is in their vicinity. So, these guys being on the same page as much as we can late in the year, get as many reps as we can, full speed with those guys, and then we try to take opportunities to take those drops and drill work after practice. Maybe you get a young guy, get some spot throws, get some full speed throws, those types of things that we've been trying to do to make sure we're getting all of these kind of game plan throws thrown prior to the games.
I'm curious about since you've been in the league and in football, the development process for young quarterbacks. They used to have 4 preseason games. The starters would play a lot of them. There used to be 2-a-days and things like that. I just wonder if that quarterbacks are now kind of like JJ asked to play themselves into development during real games, and I guess how that might be different than in the past.
I would say maybe different from the past is the time that people give a young quarterback is it's kind of the same across the league. A young player, people are at any position. It's just the quarterback position is obviously the one getting the ball and highlighted the most. But I feel like in general, people want to put guys in a box immediately. This is up, he's a bust, up, he can't do it, or he's a Hall of Famer, on the other side. And what you see is even the players who come right out of the box, playing great football, end up having some struggles at some point, or the second year, or all those types of things. I mean, each guy's different. There's a development to each player in this league, each young player, and the time that guys are given now before we just declare what this guy is. They're giving a lot less time to coaches as well, so I'm very aware of that. So, but yeah, all of our players. Okay, we come in from the games, all right, and they're coached on this was not the proper technique or fundamentals, okay, and then we go out and we work on it. And all of our guys, we've got a very good group of guys that are extremely conscientious, that are going to go out and work very hard, including JJ, to go ahead and get it right and make sure that we're better the next time we go out.
How realistic is it, for a quarterback, you're working on installs, you're working on, game plans and all that stuff, to be able to kind of make the type of advances in the tech and the fundamentals and the footwork that he's being asked to make during the course of the actual season, as opposed to in an off-season environment?
Well, when you see good things in practice and things done well in practice, it's just a matter of carrying some of those things over. This is not some of the quarterbacks that have come in the league and you're trying to change their throwing motion, which I think is a much more difficult ask for these guys when the speed of the game comes and they're just reacting. Those things are much harder than rep, footwork, fundamentals, technique, having my feet and eyes in the right place at the top of my drop. And those are things. And then trusting the guys up front. Those guys have been providing some pretty good pockets. Obviously, there's some leakage on individual plays. That's just part of the NFL. But you're going to play from some muddy pockets in the NFL. But trust those guys up front. Trust the back stepping up to get linebackers, and you take your footwork and you do your job, and let the rest of the guys do theirs.
Thanks, Wes.